Why white families teach children that rules can bend, while black families teach children that rules can break you. In many white families, rules are introduced as guidelines rather than absolutes. Children are taught that rules exist, but they are also taught why those rules exist and when they can be questioned. Authority is something to understand, not something to fear. When a rule is broken, the response is often flexible. Consequences may exist, but they are framed as learning moments, not life-defining failures. The child is encouraged to explain themselves, negotiate outcomes, and understand context. The underlying message is that systems can be reasoned with. Because of this, white children often grow up believing that rules are adaptable. They learn early that exceptions exist, that intent matters, and that mistakes don't automatically destroy opportunities. Rules bend if you know how to speak, who to speak to, and when to push back. In many black families, rules are taught differently, as survival tools. Obedience is emphasized not because parents enjoy control, but because the consequences of breaking rules are perceived as severe and irreversible. A single mistake can attract punishment far beyond the lesson itself. Rules are enforced strictly because the outside world is seen as unforgiving. There may be no room for explanation, negotiation, or second chances once authority is involved. So discipline at home becomes a shield, harsh but protective in intent. Breaking a rule is not just a personal failure. It can feel like a threat to safety, reputation, or future stability. As a result, children are taught that rules don't bend. They snap, and they snap people with them. Neither approach comes from ignorance. One grows from environments where rule-breaking is cushioned by privilege and institutional forgiveness. The other grows from environments where rule-breaking can lead to lasting damage. This difference also shapes how children respond to authority figures outside the home. White children are more likely to question teachers, managers, or officials without assuming danger. They've been trained to believe disagreement is a normal part of participation, not an act of defiance. Black children, on the other hand, are often taught to minimize visibility around authority. Silence, compliance, and caution are framed as intelligence, not because curiosity is discouraged, but because attention itself can invite risk. Over time, this creates two very different instincts. One group learns how to navigate systems by pushing against them. The other learns how to survive systems by staying within invisible lines, even when those lines are unfair. This doesn't mean black children lack critical thinking or courage. It means their courage is often expressed through restraint rather than confrontation. Knowing when not to speak becomes just as important as knowing when to speak. As adults, these lessons resurface in workplaces, courts, schools, and institutions. Some feel entitled to flexibility and explanation. Others assume rigidity and prepare for punishment, long before any rule is actually broken. And when these children become adults, the difference shows clearly. Some challenge systems confidently, believing outcomes are negotiable, while others move cautiously, knowing that for them, rules were never designed to bend.